Today I will be reading Goldie's Search for Silver. Now this book is the third and last in the Wise Mullet series, so make sure to check out my channel to hear the other two books if you haven't already. Life passed sweetly in the Muddy Cook Bayou for old Middler and Goldie. The two mullet buddies took it nice and easy. The tide came in, the tide went out, but growing with the changing tides was the size of Goldie's doubt. For Goldie missed his precious silver dearly, his precious, precious silver, who on that nightmare of a day had been swept away by the awful hurricane. What if, he asked Middler, while finning about, silver did not die? If only I had searched, might she still be alive? Old Middler lifted his cap with his right fin and scratched his scaly noggin with his left. I'm a simple mullet, Goldie. I don't know much about philosophy and such, but it's not good to feel guilty about what you can't change, only about what you won't. Simple I may be, Goldie, but from my journey I know one thing, and I know it very well. A mullet can't live happily with what if in his gizzard, or jump high with if only in his guts. Did I do all I could? Wondered Goldie, under the starry Cook Bayou sky. Have I done all I should? And if not, why? Disaster struck at dawn. While Middler and Goldie fed with the rising tide, an osprey swooped down and scooped old Middler up. How Goldie grieved for his loyal buddy. There had never been a better friend. Saluting old Middler, he wiped a tear from his eye and departed Cook Bayou for the very last time. There would be no more what-ifs, no more sitting on his fins. Goldie had made up his mind. I will find my precious silver, or spend my life trying. He searched Boggy Bayou, Pensacola, Mobile Bay, Dauphin Island, Horn Island, Intracoastal Waterway, Santa Rosa, Pascagoula, Perdido Key, Florida, Alabama, and all the way to Mississippi. Goldie searched day and night for weeks and months. Seasons passed, but silver remained lost. Lost but alive, silver had survived the awful storm, while many creatures died. But just when she was feeling a little less poorly, another hurricane struck. A waterspout picked her up and dropped her down in a Cajun cypress swamp with a fractured fin and a broken heart. Battered, bruised, broken, alone and so lonely, far from pretty Bayou with no sign of Goldie, the sparkle faded from Silver's blue eyes, the dazzle departed her happy tail, and her once shiny scales, those shiniest of scales, now looked like crinkled aluminum foil. Life, indeed, was extremely bleak, but Silver didn't give up. She didn't cry or weep, for now was the time for shining, and though her scales looked like aluminum foil, she was still silver underneath. She struggled, she half swam, she paddled slowly along, looking for Goldie and longing for home. Alligators, gars, osprey, and snakes, Silver dodged danger, however they came. Until one magical morning, Silver's perseverance paid off. She saw red glasses on the horizon and something golden wagging. Suddenly, her scales were shining, for she knew her Goldie was coming. But just at the moment she started to wave, at the instant she started to shout, a wily Cajun threw a cast net over her head and pulled her onto his dock. What should have been a wonderful sight gave Goldie a terrible fright. Silver was about to be used as live bait to catch a big bull red. There was no time to worry, no time to despair. His little voice said, "Swim fast," and then it hollered, "Jump." How high did Goldie jump that fateful day? Well, in Terrebonne Parish, the old times say, "Choo, he jump all coo high, the first time ever mullet did fly." High, 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 Goldie soared in the sky, higher than a mullet was supposed to be, and smacked into the Cajun's hand and knocked his silver free. No time to celebrate, no time to hug. They jumped together just as the big red fish struck. They swam like the dickens through and hid up a slough, and then, only then, Silver said, You sure look like took your time, but boy, am I glad to see you. It was a morning like none other, and to celebrate their reunion, Silver said, let's return to Pretty Bayou by taking the scenic route. Louisiana, Texas, Mexico, across to the Florida Keys, they traveled like it was their honeymoon and did just as they pleased. They springed into Morgan City and summered in Cancun. They autumned in the Everglades and wintered by Cedar Key. And everywhere they went, they never traveled alone, because everywhere they went, the memory of his loyal buddy traveled with Goldie too. They traveled so long, Goldie got to feeling his age. He wasn't a buck mullet. His bones were tired. His jumping days were nearly over. His scales constantly ached. Silver noticed and slowed her pace. Then she stopped completely and asked, Goldie, are you okay? Surely I enjoyed our journey, but sometimes, Silver, I start to worry, and sometimes I start to despair. Will we ever get to Pretty Bayou? Will we ever arrive there? Silver paused and smiled. Then she smiled again. Then she rubbed him on the scales and kissed him on the gills. Don't fret about the destination, Goldie, and let it spoil your journey. For Pretty Bayou isn't north or south, east or west, next week or next year. Everywhere is Pretty Bayou when I'm together with you. The end. I hope you enjoyed Goldie's Search for Silver and the whole Wise Mullet series, and I hope it made you smile too.